Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme, Issue 4. And this was a great issue. It did a really good job of balancing between giving us kind of a primer on Anthony Ludgate Druid and really kind of ramping up what's going on with people stealing stuff from Strange's Forge. So this issue starts off, and we're seeing that Strange is needed for the surgery. He's booked it in advance, but he's not there yet, and time is a critical factor for this. And then we jump and we see that he decided to check out his forge. Be like, what's going on? And we see that there's a Carthusian bruiser there, and it's really screwing with him and giving him some trouble. But he's like, I need to get to that surgery. Of course, one of these other doctors is like, screw Strange, I'm going to do this myself. But when he's actually run into what Strange was going to attempt, he's never done it before. But we see that Strange is able to get there in time, looking worse for wear. And of course, Hagen's like, what the hell is going on? Well, he's able to do the surgery. He's washing up after, and she's like, listen, you said that your other stuff was not going to affect this. And he's like, I know. I messed up on this time, and I'm sorry, and it won't happen again. She's like, well, looks like you need a drink. And he's like, drinks is singular. So they decide to go out and they talk about Anthony Ludgate. And it's really, they do it very effectively because, granted, it's been a while since I've heard of Druid, and I'm not that well versed in the character myself, but they do a very good job of making it interesting while devoting enough page space to it to making it effective. Talking about how he was a psychiatrist, he found out he was descendant of a Druid person, and he wanted to get into the studies of this religion. Problem is, it's mainly an oral tradition, and talking about how he met up with the ancient one, but that their interests really didn't align at that point, so they parted ways, not unamicably, but it's kind of like, okay, all right, like, we might be back, we might not, we'll see. Then we see that he talks about how he went into his superhero persona in about the 50s doing his stuff, but then he got more absorbed into his studies and kind of fell off the map for a little bit. Then, of course, he made a bigger wave getting in the Avengers, being recruited with Doctor Strange for a team or two. And, of course, then we get to the point where Doctor Strange is, of course, the Sorcerer Supreme, and he's talking about how Anthony was kind of a hard person to work with. Everybody knew him, nobody really liked him and thought he was arrogant. And, of course, Hagen's like, that's coming from you. And he's like, point taken. But he always felt that there was an undercurrent of resentment. And then he's like, yeah, but the thing is, the dude was dead. He found him in a weird world that he thought that was the only place he could keep his corporeal form. And then I find out that he's in this in this medical institute. She's like, yeah, okay, woo. And she's like, maybe next time I walks him to, of course, his sanctuary. He's like, I'd invite you in, but like the cleaning Balrog's doing some stuff. She's like, oh, well, maybe next time. And it seems like Doctor Strange is really like, hey, well, maybe we could do this. But, of course, they both get a call. And there's a John Doe. He said that he had asked for Doctor Strange, so Strange is going in. Hagen gets the information that they tried to run fingerprints on this dude and didn't find any. And as Strange is cut in to get into it, he's like, oh, God, this is not good. And this becomes crazy as he's using his mind to try and call Anthony to him because he's like, I need your help, please don't be. And we see little things of like, please don't be a villain. But of course, he's like, I need your help here. There's a demon here that's using a glamour, and there's a problem here. Anthony gets everybody out of the operating room. Strange does the rundown. They're like, listen, this is a lower level demon where its brain is supposed to be is essentially a magic bomb trap that once this scalpel goes in is going to level the hospital. Anthony's like, well, can we evacuate? He's like, not enough time, and this thing's fighting me. As we see that tendrils are trying to pull the scalpel into the brain to set it off, because the minute he like pretty much slices into the skin, it set the trap, and that's where Stranger's like, shit. So they're trying to figure out what to do. He's doing his tug of war. Anthony had given him some light to kind of see, but that's not really helping. And they're like, all right, we can't get everybody out of the blast. What if we move the blast? So they come up with the idea of sending the blast energy into the greenhouse plants. And Anthony's like, all right, cool, let's do that. And they're able to do it. And just as the scalpel gets sucked into the brain, the explosion goes out of the greenhouse. It does rock the hospital. And Strange is like, can you calm everybody down? He's like, I'll do you one better. I'll get rid of the body, gets rid of it, and then wipes everybody's memories. And of course, Strange gives him the lowdown of his forge and people stealing stuff. He's like, he agrees. He's going to help Strange and be like, all right, it's time to go on the offensive before this gets crazy and people are able to mass produce the stuff. And of course, the last page of the issue, we see these strange kind of creatures working on these magical weapons and these people in these strange hoods patrolling as weapons are put into boxes, lots of boxes with forklifts and everything. And we'll have to see how that goes. I'm like, I really am. I like the piecemeal that we've been getting, how this is kind of more of a slower burn mystery. We've got Anthony Ludgate into this thing. We've got all these other things going on. But this, I'm like, okay, this is an interesting group. I got a lot of the mystery, and I'm really like, I want to know more about them. And I like that we're not getting like front-loaded and just like, boom. I like that we're getting a steady stream. We're getting bits and pieces as this goes along, but it doesn't feel too slow. So I'm like, I can't wait for the next issue to see what more we learn and what next they're going to do, because they just did a bomb to try and blow up Strange. They really want what's in that forge, and they really want Strange out of the picture for that. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.